We actually have seen the Imperial go for a lot of sniper against OD.
That's one that people used to do for a while, yeah. That's a pretty interesting one.
Would you consider Alliance a team that would pick sniper? Because that's the question, right? Is it going to be... Because Loda is going to play Luna, that's there. But what's Limp going to do? Oh, hello, Ursa.
I was actually going to say that Vega has a very, once Luna gets BKB, they actually lack a little bit of damage. Amplify is great and all, but OD isn't really one of those big, right-clickers that, gives them everything they need for the physical. Gives them the Roshan as well, so that's a really nice, cheeky pickup. And it's a hero that he's very good versus, aggros. He's innately very tanky and deceptive with the Wisp.
Mirana is still in the pool as well. How does Mirana do against OD?
I think he struggles a bit. I'm not too certain about the matchups because I know people were saying Timbersaw does well versus OD, which I can never really see, but I know people were saying that that's actually a thing. But I don't think we're going to see the Alliance pick something like that. That doesn't seem like a Limp.
What will be the Limp hero is the question.
They go for the Tiny again.
Tiny against OD? Good luck with that.
I don't think so, right?
Could happen.
Pretty brutal. I don't think so either, but... I don't think they want to do a single core Luna, so they definitely want something that scales decently and something that benefits from Bloodlust.
Tinker!
Just kidding.
That
scales for a long time, but doesn't really benefit from Bloodlust.
Oh, Laura, that is a greedy lineup.
That is
Tinker stealing all the money and Luna desperately trying to get that money.
I think it's a very greedy lineup as well, yeah.
Looking good.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to just set in a new rule. The person that was correct with their previous prediction has to go first.
Okay.
Well, of course, super greedy lineup. Alliance has very little chance to win this one. That's why it will be so surprising when they do. I'm going to go for Alliance.
I'm going Vega.
I'm going Vega as well.
Get ready to lose again, kiddos.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
I would be happy if you just get it right. It's a win. It's a win-win for me, guys.
You'll make Sweden happy because the Alliance will make it.
Fire up your public apologies.
Game 2, Alliance versus Vega Squadron. It is over to OD Pixel and Gods.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Aces Strategy Dream League. I'm Eddie Pixel, I'm here with God Sam. We're ready to get yourself kicked into Game 2 of the first series of the day. Vega Squadron once again up against Alliance. The drafts are done. And this time around, what are you liking here, Gods? A little bit of a tempo change, Limp being on the Tinker, arguably not as much of an early game playmaker as the Tiny, but as it scales on, we could certainly expect him to come out with the plays.
I'm looking forward to seeing if Vega have the answer to the Alliance aggro trialing, because so far we've seen teams struggle against it. That's why Alliance have done so well here at Dream League. Their aggro lanes have not so much caught people by surprise, but just been something that teams haven't adjusted well to. It's not often you see teams aggro trialing. It was non-existent for many years. It wasn't until maybe 6 to 12 months ago we started seeing a few come back here and there, and Alliance is one of the teams that's had the most success with them. So I think we're seeing it again. Jonas to the safe lane, 3 heroes down bottom. Sometimes it's aggro dual lane. This time around it looks like it'll be a Hanskin roaming between mid and bottom lane, depending on where they need help. And Ursa is not a hero that does well against this.
I guess that's the question. In this mid lane, then, is Limp going to need backup against what they're going to put against him? Do you expect Hanskin to hang around her a lot, or can Tinker hold his own after a while?
Tinker, maybe with a little bit of help, can hold his own. For now, Hanskin is helping, not directly in the mid lane, but so much as just by keeping the support speedy. Finds Sioma, throw an Ignite. Just knowing where the supports are is half the battle. So Limp already getting some info for the team. But FN has swapped lanes. He said, screw it, I'm not going against this aggro tri lane. And you're versing Alliance. Surely by now you've caught on to the fact they like to aggro lane. And I'm very surprised Ursa started bottom lane if he was planning on dodging that tri lane and just going top.
It's going to be a very interesting thing to see how teams deal with that in the qualifiers playing against Alliance. Meanwhile, top lane already, a lot of harassment getting done onto Jonas and Fan. He did get 6 stacks onto Mag, so no wonder the bat was sticking around nice and close, just seeing if he himself had an opportunity to go aggressive. But there's the full swap around as Mag does TP down to bottom lane.
The great thing about this aggro lane is Alliance don't care if you swap your lanes, because they still have winning lanes now. They're going to be able to zone out and bully the Slaughter, similar to what we saw last game. It is the off-lane player Mag on it this time, but Batrider should do alright here. It's a melee hero Ursa. As long as he plays fairly defensively, he should be able to get some XP and farm. Maybe he dies once or something, but it's going to come kind of at the exchange of getting some good levels, some good farm on himself as well. I feel like he does better against the tri lane than Mag's going to do better. Because of the creep equilibrium bottom lane, Alliance are going to have a great time zoning out the off lane in the safe lane Slaughter of Mag.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, they seem to have settled for these kind of dual lanes. Alliance keeping EGM up towards the top of the Witch Doctor, just making the pulls and such. We'll see if he himself makes some movements around the map. At the mid lane at the moment, Iceberg, 7 for 2. Limp, 4 for 1. Slight edge for Iceberg, but I imagine this is kind of a lane that could play out both ways with kind of the laser coming into play for Limp, but at the same time the Astral spam and usage once OD hits a certain level. It's going to be annoying for the Tinker to stick around and find the farm.
Yeah, I think Limp just having a bit of a bad game here in the first couple of ways. I've seen him miss a few CS in a row, which is a bit unfortunate. Even when the OD was going for the rune, he missed 2 CS, so not his best game or his best start, but that can easily change.
Up top, getting aggressive onto Jonas and FN. Playing around underneath the tower, has to back away though as EGM comes across. Jonas and Fan will salve up. FN, I mean, he wants kills. He's looking at EGM. EGM turns around with the cast. Some good bounces as well. FN playing incredibly aggressive. Has the stick charges to keep him alive. FNG turning towards EGM, but the Voodoo Restoration keeping the Witch Doctor topped up. And now Alliance, they're going to live for the turnaround. They're chasing them down. Sherman the Slayer looking for a glimpse to bring Hanskin away from them. FN's going to come back in, surrounding EGM, and Vega will find the first blood. They'll take down one. They're looking for another. You get the Earthshock slow onto Jonas and Fan. FN won't be able to chase this. FNG had to tether across to Shoma to keep him alive. Shoma falling very, very low. There's 6 stacks at the moment on this Disruptor. FN's going to come back in. The Fury Swipe stacks are still on Jonas and Fan, and they're going to get another. Vega get the double kill. Shoma the Slayer will have to pay with his life. The Vega being very aggressive up top, and they'll take that. Nice little play from Hanskin. Potentially tried to look for the body block. Isn't going to happen. Mag able to wiggle himself away with the sprint phase movement.
Yeah, playing with fire up top lane, that almost was like 2 or 3 kills going Alliance's way. They just managed to slightly outplay the Bat Rider there. He was a bit low on mana to get another Firefly off as well. Went for the Napalm spam instead, and luckily for Vega, it works out for them. It didn't feel like it was a completely controlled aggression. It felt like they got a bit too eager for the kill underneath the tower, but they didn't get punished.
Mag just getting himself back to base as he picks up the Talon as such, maybe indicating that he's going to stick away from this lane. Loader a little bit too scary, as Slaughter may just look to pick up some levels and some farm.
And that's where Alliance don't mind that, like trading kills near your tower kind of thing, even when they trade one for 2 in kind of poor fashion, because Loader's still free farming. He's double the CS of the Ursa right now. Ursa, despite not dying, got only the assist there, so he didn't really get all that much farm while all that aggression was going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of time chasing around Jonas and Fan, so indeed, no wonder he got knocked back. And the mid lane, what has happened to Limp? I mean, as I said, with the Astral and such, it's not going to be an easy lane for the Tinker, but Limp is having an incredibly tough time. Talking about tough time, top lane, Jonas and Fan being gone on again, will be brought down. EGM came in with the cast trying to save him, but he's not going to be able to find a kill in return, unless Hanskin, with a couple of bashes, could do it. He's coming in with the clubs, does take down the Ursa, and he may just get FNG as well. FNG trying to get himself out of this. And EGM with the final touch gets a double kill. Questioning whether they're going to dive it there, but Alliance will hold back. But nice bit of gold and XP for EGM there as he picks up the 2 of them. And Vega's aggression on the top lane getting punished this time.
Yeah. They were a bit more well prepared for it this time. They are sacrificing some decent CS and farm on Mag Slaughter at the safe lane, but I think Alliance will be pretty happy with what's going on at top. The mid lane is definitely a concern for them. Limp is continuing to get crushed here. Even with the bottle coming out, he's been sent back to base to heal up. Iceberg dominating the 1v1 matchup. And this has been a more or less straight 1v1 with how busy the supports have been in mostly that top lane. Just straight out outplay as well as a slight hero matchup advantage for the OD, but I wouldn't even say it's that sizable.
Just having much better time here. And top lane again, FN and FNG getting punished. I mean, FNG is going to be dove upon. They lose to at this top lane has gone to absolute shambles here for Vega. They've got this Ursa IO combination that they're trying to make aggressive plays with, but more often than not now, it's biting them hard in the foot. You already talked about the fact that FN was falling behind in terms of farm compared to Loader. And it's what feels like a second game in a row. This could pan out for tough times for the essential safe laner of Vega. Obviously, the role switched around. Iceberg is in the mid lane this game, but both players trying to play a very aggressive safe lane, and it's not working out for them.
It seems they just keep getting caught by surprise by the Alliance supports being up here. Like, yeah, they come back, or like they get zoned out, and then they probably think, oh, they'll go back bottom. Loda needs help. He's a carry, right? The supports won't stick around top, but no, they're sticking this top lane. They're committed to shutting down this Ursa now, and Loda doesn't need the help to farm. He's free farming away.
That's the thing. He's free farming. He's got a solo lane. This Luna's going to be in an absolutely fantastic place when it comes to levels and farm at this stage of the game, because Vega seem just set on putting the pressure up top, where, as we've seen, Alliance, they're ready to answer it. And no one on the side of Vega yet to look to help down on that bottom lane and look to do anything about Loda's Luna, which is setting up to be in a space as good as he was in Game 1 on the Gyrocopter.
He can pick up a TP soon if he wants to go and help out that top lane, should a dive happen. So, yeah, there we go. He picks it up. He's level 7. Any kind of dive at top is going to be heavily punished by that Luna rotation. The Tinker has a TP as well, although less likely to rotate since he's mostly prioritized on his own farm for now. Doesn't really rotate as well as a Luna does, considering he's only got the March primarily. So this top lane is really a dangerous place for Vega to keep trying to fight and apply pressure.
FN's picked up the phase boots now on Ursa, so I mean, this could be a bit of a double-edged sword. He might feel that he can go even more aggressive for the extra movement speed, but at the same time, Alliance, they can very easily punish it. FM eyeing it up, but understandably just standing back now by the tower. Jonas and Fan, EGM and Hansken up there in their tri-lane glory, keeping Vega back. And FN, he's got to find another way into this game, it feels, other than trying to go for those kills, because it's just not going to happen at the moment.
What a great rune for Loda to find. He's found an invis, and he can actually gank mid with this. Iceberg will not expect this. Tinker can easily bait him in.
And he's just used the Astral to farm.
So we've got 3 seconds, though. We'll be back up in time. Perhaps waiting for another Astral.
Yeah, and there it is. Perfect time. Loda comes out, no messing with the Eclipse. IO just come in. FNG trying to go for the save. It may just work out. The rocket's bursting through, and it looks like it will. Great presence from FNG. Averts the danger that Vega could have been in, and in fact, well, Vega may just look to take the kill out of it. Hansken caught on the wrong side of the map, and well, there we have it. Vega turning around a situation that looked to have potentially been incredibly messy for them.
Yeah, I think Loda misplays there. He doesn't... You can start with the Lucent Beam before the Eclipse, because you're already cutting off... The OD runs towards you. Like, you're sitting closer to his tower than he is, so you start with the Lucent Beam, and then you immediately Eclipse. A Lucent Beam has a 6-second cooldown, so there's a good chance you get 6 off. He didn't use a single Lucent Beam that entire game, so... Yeah, the IO comes, and it's a bit of a, like, kind of a panic moment where it's like, oh crap, IO's here, we're not going to get the kill. But realistically, you got to set yourself up for success and start with the Lucent Beam there.
A little bit of a strange play. Loda's going to head back down towards bottom. Mag, with the time that Loda spent heading towards the mid with the Invis rune, managed to catch up a little bit. He's now heading near onto level 8 himself. Behind Talon, helping him keep the farm pace up. And he's going to be backed up by a few members of Vega as well, which is good timing because Alliance themselves heading down to the bottom. Hansken and Jonas and Fan looking to make something happen. But Mac has got backup, and now in fact they're going to be the ones to kick it off. Loaded drag back, but the lasso comes just in time to stop Mac from getting the initial crush off. He now gets the crush fruit. It looks to be enough to allow him to get himself the hell away. Jonas and Fan still attempting to chase down. And see, actually by the bottom rune, more members coming across for this one. But no one to go as of yet. As both teams kind of prepared for that. Vega head down with the supports, but Alliance, they were smoked up as well, so they just kind of end up butting heads and backing off.
Yeah, and negates each other. Limp finding time to just farm away in the jungle, so that's good news for him, but he's lost his mid tower now as Iceberg takes a freebie. This OD is very, very farmed, well ahead of the pack, and that is a big concern for Alliance.
Yeah, and such a different level of performance from Iceberg as well. I mean, he always was the mid in terms of the other teams he's played in. He always was the kind of standout mid laner. So it was obviously a bit of a switch up seeing him in that safe lane last game where he just did not have a great time at all on Slardar, but back on arguably one of his more signature heroes, the OD, he is indeed looking to be in a very, very good and powerful place this game. And Alliance, well, we'll see how they're able to deal with him, especially once he starts to turn up to fights and really bring the hammer. Now, top lane, hides onto FN, Loda, and EGM. Going a little bit aggressive, but they're not really going to dive this side. Loda's starting to tank a few tower hits, but there's no way that he can chase this down. And Iceberg, he's turning up, he's got a 4-star, shoves himself into position. EGM's there. but there's not a lot he can do about this. EGM just frozen a cask, nothing else he can do to save Loader. And as I was mentioning, you know, as soon as Iceberg enters another lane, he's going to start crushing Alliance's heroes with the lead that he's already had in the mid lane.
11-minute force stuff with the Treads, Bottle, Null Talisman. Very impressive stuff from OD, and he's just getting super aggressive now. He finds Limp in the jungle.
Let's see if he gets something else out there. Yeah, indeed, up top. The bottom lane is where we're going to be watching, as there's a bit of a go on to Hansken. He is kept alive. And yeah, top in the jungle. Limp taken down. I mean, I said, you know, coming into this series, we could expect games going both ways. And game 1, it was Alliance all over. Game 2, there's some very, very scary aspects of Vega coming to fruition. You look on the board, top 3 all highest at the moment on Vega Squadron. And this OD and Ursa, if they start to run away this game and get ahead in the mid game, I don't know how Alliance are going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, it felt like the laning stage wasn't, like outside the mid lane wasn't that much of a disaster, but the mid lane loss proving to be very impactful on this game. 5.8k net worth OD, 2.6k on Tinker. It is just insane how far. Tinker's the same net worth as Woodstock. That is not ideal for Alliance, to say the least. This is a huge deficit that Limp finds himself at, and he's only died once. It's just been sheer out-farm coming out from the OD, and when your OD gets off to a good start and is able to roam like this, suddenly the game gets very difficult for the rest of the Alliance team. So the loss of mid is affecting the other lanes as well.
He has to be careful. FN and Iceberg, they've got their eyes on him again. They did, I believe, just have a ward down behind that just expired. I'm not sure if it caught eyes on them. Limp actually coming across just down the march of machines. And looks like he will TP back to base. They're not going to get eyes onto him, Vega, so Limp will live to see another day. Back down on the bottom, Loader. Backed up by EGM and Hansken. Yeah, looking to start to get a bit of pressure down, potentially onto this bottom tower. But yeah, this game, the tempo is going to be stepped up in a minute by Vega. As Mag nearly with the Blink Dagger. Well, I say nearly, he's got it. Slardar with the Blink now online. And mid lane, more blood to be shed for Alliance.
Yikes.
As Vega getting kills.
Slardar and Ursa getting their blinks at the same time.
Yeah.
So they've got double blinks for this bottom lane defense.
Well, Loader, what are you going to do about this? Already a couple of swipes and Loader down to half health. Iceberg comes in, drops the hammer. Mag with 2-man cross. They manage to get EGM as well. It's a triple kill for the Ball of Light. FNG cleaning up with the kill secures. Let's see if he can find an Ultra. Go on, give it to the Iron. He's going to take one home. He'll let FN take that one. But 10-5, 4 clear kills for Vega there. Nothing in return for Alliance. We saw this. We saw this yesterday, God. Did you see CIS team loses to Alliance and then crushes them, and it's happening again.
Yeah.
It's some kind of magical curse.
Well, game 1 I thought was one-sided. This is looking even more one-sided than game number 1.
They need big plays. They're going to try for him, going into the pit, dragging Mag up into the high ground. They're in defensive Astral, trying to protect him with some of the damage from the March of the Machines. He's still stuck up there. Will be taken down. Can they go for some sort of steal? It's falling low. No, they've got it. Radiant take the touch. Ursa picks up the Aegis. It will be popped straight away. Let's see if he can play his way out. This one Alliance looking to surround the pit. They don't have lasso. So it will be a freebie to get out. I suppose he's got an invis room. Yeah. Question is, does he want to try and do something with this one?
Don't expect Alliance to have that much sentries. Okay, they plant one down.
Iceberg just on the edge. The pings did come out from just from Iceberg himself. So yeah, looks like Alliance to
he
get
saw the ward perhaps.
Yeah.
There's a load. They're going to look to farm up these ancients and. Yeah. There we go. They're trying to protect the area. They throw out a scan just to make sure no one's coming in. Not a huge rosh in the end since they lose the Aegis right away, but it's still money for Vega, which is at 15 minutes in, getting that rosh money for your whole team is good enough in itself.
I mean, 15 minutes in FNG, getting that triple kill, getting the rosh kill with the team. He's got mechanism done. So really allowing Vega to go full divide like we saw Na'Vi do yesterday.
They're looking for the Tinker again in the dire jungle. It's not the Tinker, it was the Bat Rider who was in the neighborhood. Tinker off on his own in that top lane. Still no boots of travel 16 minutes in. Limp is still struggling to farm himself. And
interesting as well to see Iceberg with the pace of this game. He is going for the Rod of Atos, which we're not seeing every OD build nowadays. It's much less of a favourable item in some players' eyes, but Iceberg decides it's the play. I mean, is this just down to how quickly it's moving and how getting it at an earlier stage can still mean the item is incredibly relevant?
Yeah, it seems like a good item when you're snowballing and really far ahead because of the arcane orb doing like the way you do damage. Do damage based on Inferior Sanity's Eclipse. Just makes getting the Rod of Atos. It's good. It's HP. It's intel. It just synergizes nicely with OD's skill set, but. Realistically, it's not an item you'd normally get in a game that's a bit closer, just because you want to get your 4-staffs, your Blink Daggers, your BKBs, but you don't need a BKB. You don't need defensive items when you're ahead. You want to go for more aggression, and the HP itself does give you a bit of defensive capabilities.
There we have it. Second staff up, and on its way out soon to be heading there.
There you go.
And nearly catching Limp by the looks of it there with that relocate, but he did manage to TP out in time. And good job he did get out, indeed. Tinker very close to the box.
Yeah, he's been found.
Indeed, Jonas and Fan maybe playing around with the creeps for a little bit too long. Iceberg found him out. And that will be another one into the bank of OD. Iceberg on a killing spree now. 8.2k net worth. And indeed, Limp sitting right down there. 300 gold behind FNG's IO. It really is... It really is just the polar opposite of what we saw in Game 1. Just a core player falling massively behind. In Game 1, obviously, being Iceberg on the Slider, and Game 2 being Limp on the Tinker.
Yeah, and this is, Iceberg much more in his element. Playing the mid laners, very surprising to see him on the Slider in the first game, just because less the hero, more just the lane. Normally, he's always been that mid laner. Seeing him and FNs kind of swap it up, just didn't feel like Vega were all that comfortable. And this game around, Iceberg on one of his signature heroes in OD. He used to play this hero all the time back with Godblack on Spirit Gaming. It's proven to be a much more natural fit for him.
Alliance, Lotus still, of course, relatively close to FN's Ursa. Only 1k between them, but
they've got level 2 Eclipse. This is kind
they
of
need to make something happen.
Yeah, this is kind of a Hail Mary type play. If this doesn't work, it's hard to see a good comeback possibility for Alliance. They've smoked up and looking to use that level 2 Luna ultimate to make something work.
Let's see if they can find that jump. Jonas and Fan, Blink and Lasso at the ready. Lim's going to boss into this creep wave down bottom, potentially hoping to use that Tinker as bait, and it may just work. Vega, they're going to come across under the cover of the smoke. They still have that ward down Alliance, so they've got eyes on them. They have the jumping, Jonas and Fan grabbing one, bringing him back in. That will be the disruptor, the fall, but FN, he's jumped in onto one of them on the backliners. That's going to be EGM down. Eclipse comes out from low, but he's falling, and he's falling low. The damage from Iceberg too much. He gets taken out as well as he fell low. Alliance lose 3, they've lost a 4. Limp the only one to survive, and again it's just an absolute slaughter. Vega maintaining and accelerating the lead they have, and Alliance with a bit of the Hail Mary indeed, as you said, and it was not a successful one.
Yeah, Slider didn't even hit the Blink Crush at the start. I guess his Blink got cancelled,
I think it did
or either got cancelled or he just somehow rushed his buttons a bit too fast and stunned before blinking. But even without that catch at the start of that fight, it still didn't matter.
Yeah,
it was Alliance who got the initial jump with the Blink last, so they kill a Disruptor, but it's still just a Disruptor. There's too many heroes to worry about. The relocate allows Vega to suddenly have 5 heroes there. They can smoke as 3, but still have 5 for a team fight. And the Ursa and OD both doing about 2.5 to 3k damage each, just dominating.
EGM is dragged back into the field. Mag coming in with a follow-up crush. EGM to fall, and FN's ready to chase in for even more. Gets the Earthshock slowed down onto Hansken. Limp, Loader, and Jonas and Fan, though, are there with the backup. Lasso's back available. See if Jonas and Fan can catch anyone out here. Vega still sticking around. Mag questioning a potential jump back in, but with the Marching Machine spam out, Vega will hold back. So Alliance unable to really punish again. Vega's just capabilities of jumping in, picking off a support, getting out, and not having to pay for it at all. And at this stage as well, FN only 500 gold away from picking up the Aghanims on the Ursa, so the Enraged going to get even scarier as the team fights are going to be up much more frequently for the side of Vega than Alliance. And that's the thing as well, you look at the cooldowns, Alliance arguably working around the Eclipse, the Lasso. Vega with this OD, with the damage he's out doing with the Arcane Orbs, with the Slider, with the Ursa, it's just go, go, go for them. They don't need to wait for the timings that Alliance have to work around.
Oh yeah, they have such high uptime now. They've got, looks like the Dragon Lance complete on the OD, so he's going to get even scarier, harder to deal with. Mag's got the 4-star items just pouring into the Vega inventories here as they are getting filthy rich across the board. Io's, I mean, you mentioned the mech, which he's had for some time now. He's gone back for the arcane boots. We'll have grief soon if he wants to.
Oh, and it's not just a Dragon Lance as well. It's a full-on Hurricane Pike.
Oh, Hurricane Pike, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that very much an item that works incredibly nicely with the Amplify, just having that vision. So you always get those 4 infinite range hits in on top of the active. And obviously very scary for Alliance, seeing as they don't really have any sort of kind of defensive potential. There's nothing like a Shadow Demon or something, or Dazzle to protect someone from that kind of damage, and especially at a stage of the game where Loda very much far away from having any sort of BKB or defensive item. Mag, it's onto Hansken. Loda's already TP'd himself out. So he's the end, saying, sorry Hansken, we're out of this. We are not sticking around for the party.
No, they don't even relocate. Good decision from Vega. They realize a fight's not brewing. It's just an Ogre being sacked, and they leave the Ursa down in this bottom lane. He's got the completed Ag Scepter now, and he'll immediately spy a hero in Loda farming here, so may look to jump. Need to be a little bit careful because it is a bit of a bait from Alliance.
Let's see if they can get the jump. Alliance. Eyes onto FN. Innocent Fam. Lining this one up with the Firefly.
He knows there's an IO behind. And that's something... the big change with Batrider without the Flame Break stun is against IO, where you can't actually... The hero you lasso, if he's going to get saved by the IO relocate, you can't stun the IO as he tethers in for the relocate save.
I mean, the thing is, I might be totally wrong with this as well, but with the Ags on FN, he can enrage out of lasso?
Yeah. Oh, of course, that too. He probably just scouted the Ags when he got near him. He's like, oh, wait, that's not going to work. Yeah. That's the beauty of the Ags, being able to cast and get out of stuns.
Alliance. I mean, maybe, you know, if the start of the game went a bit different for Limp, you could say you've got this Tinker to put pressure on across the map, but Limp, of course, not in a place that he'd want to be in terms of farm. Just Blinken bots, 23 minutes in. It's been a very slow-paced game for the Tinker.
Yeah, he can farm a bit faster with these items. He can stall and prevent some of that high ground push, but still realistically, very challenging for him. We'll see him throw some more marches. FNG could scout him with the balls, and he does.
He just needs FN to get his hands in. He's trying to look for it, and he's got it. FN perfectly blinking in from outside of the march.
That was very nice from both the two players there. FNG immediately scouting with the IO spirits, and then FN allowing his Blink Dagger to reset.
Mid lane, a bit of a push coming in from Vega.
It's sort of a push, but also they're just them roaching. Like, they can push with 3 heroes while 2 others roach. It's like, you don't really have to stick together as 5 because of how dominant a position they're in. Also because they've got the IO. This is why we've seen Vega just repeatedly go back towards that FNG first pick IO. It just gives them such good flexibility with their movements, and they're going to continue to control the map here.
Hansken, he is going to want to be very careful where he treads. I mean, I suppose already caught wind of him. He tried for TP out. It's not going to happen. Astral's there. Hansken is simply going to be another freebie for the side of Vega as FN jumps in and rips his body to shreds. FN and Iceberg having an absolute game this time round. 12k net worth up there at the top. Sailing ahead when it comes to kills. You know, Iceberg 606. FN was taken down a couple of times. We saw his early aggression punished in the laning stage, but he's absolutely recovered beautifully. 625, and Ursa looking to be with that kind of Ags in rage, borderline unstoppable at this stage.
Yeah, there's no easy way to deal with this Ursa in any kind of a fight. He's going to hit level 16 soon, and then that cooldown gets down to 18 seconds, so the uptime gets pretty absurd
it's ridiculous
with the level 16. He's charging forward, though. He's ready to fight. He's got Aegis, and he is a monster.
This is going to be a question of how well Limp Spam can hold back these pushes.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying for Vega to actually reliably just try and push a lane. They can't brute force lanes very well against Tinker. He just naturally de-pushes pretty nicely, but the way they're doing it is they're splitting multiple lanes. They had a couple heroes pushing mid, a couple pushing bottom, and Alliance don't necessarily deal with that split push quite as well because they're so far behind the knife. Normally it'd be fine because you've got the pick-up potential of a Batrider, but the heroes have the relocate save, the Ursa has the Ags, and there's just too many threats to be able to do it. They've scouted out the back now with the Io Spirits.
Just look at the position of Mag and FN just poised on the cliff behind the tier 2. Meaning that Alliance had to be so careful in any attempt to get close to this push from Vega, and they're just not going to try for it. They've got to let this tier 2 go. There's no way they can stop this outside of the base. Maybe there's a chance from the high ground, but out on the map at the moment, Vega just proving to be the kings, as Alliance just suffering massively here in game 2 with no sort of answer for these kind of plays. Iceberg, now BKB completed as well on the Sodi, just 27 minutes in, incredibly stacked. And again, another core that's pretty much impossible for Alliance to take down at this stage, as long as there's formidable backup from FNG and such, and the supports from Vega.
The game gets very easy for the OD to play aggressively now with the BKB. He wants to go blink in and play aggro. Has the Osa to back him up, has an IO, though just have to be careful that the relocate tether save is available. If he BKBs and he's not tethered, that can somewhat screw over the IO a bit. But for now, Alliance is doing what they can to keep the lanes pushed out, be annoying. The Tinker's just always, when he sees multiple heroes in one or two of the lanes, he's always in that third lane pushing it out. He got the top lane pushed up pretty deep. And more than anything, this is just helping him maintain his farm. He's at least got something pseudo-respectable. He's up to about 2k gold with the Blink and the Boots of Travel. We'll build into the Aether Lens, so we'll have that fairly soon. And the nice thing about this new Tinker build that you see with the Aether Lens and then the Ags is that they're all very kind of cheap, cost-effective items, and then even the build-up is very nice. Like, you're not losing much gold on your way to the Ags build-up. It's very safe, easy item to build because of the cheap parts, so should be able to at least reliably farm those items. And each subsequent item, the Aether Lens and the Ags, makes it harder and harder to push if you're Vega. So it's a bit frustrating for Vega right now to play into the Tinker, but they probably know they're just getting way more farm. They're maintaining a very sizable lead, and they're still like on a good track.
Yeah, and obviously Shema the Slayer picking up the Midas, knowing that if this game does continue to kind of be Tinkerfied, he will be kitted out.
Yep, nothing wrong with this.
And also the fact that it looks like FN, of course, sorry, not FN Mag, on the slider will be going for the Shadow Blade. So just getting every tool possible ready to catch out the Tinker, you know, being able to sneak up on him, take him down, because they know at this stage of the game, if you're able to kill Limp, you're in a much better position to force the issue and break the high base of Alliance.
Yeah. You're kind of in that position as a disruptor where you want to be with your team because you're trying to force fights, but that also means you're not really farming or getting levels. So Midas just fits nicely with the kind of playstyle you're at. There's no obvious item that's going to help him out in a team fight, and this guarantees some late game item progression as well if it does drag, which again, dosing a Tinker, always a safe idea for most supports to just pick up a casual Midas offlane as you often see him on 2. Although Mag feels like he's getting more than enough farm without it, which is definitely the case considering he's almost got a Shadow Blade now on top of his Blink 4 stuff. But age is expiring. We'll see what Alliance can kind of do and what plays they look to make off of this. I'm not really sure they can easily go aggressive because of the relocate threat. They almost just have to just keep sticking as 5 if they want to go for kind of pick off. But that in itself is a very dangerous proposition.
I mean, yeah, because Mag was up on the top lane, FN was hanging around mid. But the fact that, as you said, you know, FNG is going to be there with a relocate, and he is constantly staying by Iceberg's side. So he'll always be able to bring in Iceberg if any of the other members of Vega get jumped on. But Alliance, of course, at the moment, just looking to secure some more big items to help them with this imminent threat. Loda's very close to BKB. Dalendy will help him for the most part against a lot of the OD's damage. But then you look at the Slardar and the Ursa, and again, it's not going to help you against these two big boys.
It's feeling very disciplined from Vega. The duration of that Aegis, they got 0 kills, but they took every outer tower that was remaining. So 4 outer towers, I believe, went down during that Aegis. And again, like, you've got this lineup that really wants to fight, but if you're not going to find easy natural fights, don't force a high ground push into a Tinker. That's not really on your own terms. So just taking down all the outer towers was satisfactory for Vega. They're still in a position where they can be aggressive, and
I mean, he's jumping into the base here. Iceberg is there to help seal the deal, take down Handscan. The Sanity's bringing the bat low. Loda's actually going to look for the turnaround with the BKB and the chase down onto Iceberg. As Vega with a relatively unnecessary aggressive play there, not taking a good trade, throwing away.
I was just praising them for their discipline. Like, oh yeah, they just took all the outer towers. They didn't bother to fight with the Aegis. Aegis is gone. Let's go dive high ground, guys. And Mate, stick to the plan. What's going on? If you're going to do that, do it with the Aegis at least.
That was, yeah, it was awkward as well because they relocated Iceberg into a position. It looked like they were trying to cut Hansken off, but Hansken went to the north and made it so much harder for them to get the kill. So, yeah, Vega, they've got to make sure that they don't break out of the patience that they've had that suited them so well to this point, yeah, allowing them to farm up and be in a pretty crazy position. I mean, you look towards Iceberg, he's still walking around with 4.5k gold in the bank. But yeah, trades like that, plays like that, what Alliance is going to hope that Vega go for, because that's going to allow them to bring themselves back into this game.
Yeah, all it takes is a few more kills on heroes like Ursa, OD, and suddenly you're finding yourselves in a winnable position if you're Alliance.
That bit of play is pretty much, put Loda on par with FN.
Yep. So, off of this, if you're Alliance, it's like, look, just keep sticking the course, keep farming up the Tinker, work towards what I can only imagine to be an Ag Scepter, based on their kind of high ground defending position that they find themselves in. There's some arguments for other items, like maybe a Shivers, but...
He's going range.
Oh, no.
You don't give a damn about the old laser roof.
No, he doesn't. You're right.
Limp, not the place he was... he did not expect the bear to be there. FN, I don't think he expected Limp to be there either. He was like, it's just Tinker.
Yeah.
That's a kill.
Popped on top of him.
All right.
They're too easy, really, when they come to you like that.
I mean, the thing is, obviously, one of the problems of Vega's lineup is, in terms of pushing towers, it's not that great.
Well,
they don't really have...
it gets a little bit better.
It does get easier. And we'll see them have a bit of a go onto the tier 3 top. I mean, they've got a lot of tank. FN can withstand the front lines of this one. It's all about the front line. Maybe Vega going straight in onto Loda. Loda gets the chance to man shoot off. There'll be a buyback from Limp on the Tinker. Static Storm trapping up EGM. EGM pops the Ghost Set to keep himself at the time, a lot of the time, but the Thunder Strike will do it. EGM to fall, chase down onto Mag, falling low. Astral from Iceberg saving him for the time being. Good multicast onto Shover to stay at. Bomb back as well by the Flame Break. Tick down low. Gets the glimpse back onto Hansken. FN jumps in, rips the Ogre down. So it'll be a 2-for-1 at the moment. 2 supports for just the one of Vegas.
And the Tinker buyback is the other big part there. So Tinker screws over his own economy a bit and his item progression by having to throw away some money for that. That was about 900 plus gold. And that's costly for Alliance. Even though they don't lose a Rax, it's not exactly what they were hoping for from the outcome there. Looked like Loda was going to be in trouble there against the OD once he got instantly hexed there. But the Talisman pickup, something maybe OD wasn't aware of, blocked a lot of the damage, and OD didn't quite do what he thought he would to Loda's Luna.
FM will be interested to see what he goes for next. I mean, do you think he does just go for the BKB to allow him to fully commit to these fights and not really to have to worry about anything that Alliance are throwing at him?
MKB, I guess?
Why MKB? Just because of the laser?
Because of the evasion? The laser. He's got the enrage,
well.
but also, the Talisman of Evasion, so I feel like MKB could be good for him.
Okay.
Just because you want to make sure you can personally bring down that Luna during the Hex. We saw there, like, Luna got hexed, but the follow-up damage wasn't really all that great. OD just misses a few too many hits from the Arcane Orb, so having an MKB, it really feels like that would make a big difference.
Sneaky Mag. Actually, that's big. Jumps in. The green Iceberg. What about FNG? He's going to find one, he's going to find two. Loading comes in with the Eclipse, looking for the turnaround for the Astral. Keeping FNG alive. Iceberg, godlike with the double kill. Loda, he's lost the BKB. Sanity's Eclipse. He's lost his sanity as well. 4 dead on the line. It's going to be a full team wipe. Mag coming in with a crush. Iceberg, Astral's up, Limp. The Swedes are swiped to the ground as Iceberg. I mean, that play there, Mag, with the fortitude, he dispels the smoke with his presence on the Shadow Blade, and instead of running, he goes in, because he knows that FNG is going to be bringing him back up. Iceberg in the middle of the fight, and just absolutely perfect team play there from Vega.
Yeah. They killed him so fast they didn't even realize Alliance dropped a gem in the process, but yeah, Vega on the high ground, ready to go. Tinker's got such a long respawn because of his previous buyback, and this means it's going to be probably one lane of Rax, maybe even a second. Alliance are going to struggle to defend this one. Ayu's kind of helping heal everyone up. He's got used Greaves once. He'll have it again in 20 seconds. The Greaves cooldown nice and short that he can get multiple Greaves off before Tinker's even back alive.
Looks like they will indeed get away with the melee Rax. So Vega, the team that's been obviously as far ahead as they have been, have struggled to break the base, but now 36 minutes in, they will manage to do the first bit of permanent damage here to the high ground of Alliance. Yeah, this game continuing to get harder and harder for them. 11-0-8 now on Iceberg. His OD out of this world at the moment. And, well, with Roshan next on the list for Vega, it's going to get even harder for Alliance to hold against these pushes. Pipe stunned by FNG. And indeed, no sign of Alliance being able to do anything to stop this. Mag. Who's going to take the Aegis? Actually, they're going to give it to FNG. I mean, he's been a bit of a star player this game. He certainly deserves it. Some fantastic relocates and plays.
Yeah, probably it's a bit of a discussion like who actually needs this item, who can make the most use of it.
I mean, no one else has died.
Yeah. Mag, perhaps you could have maybe swapped the cheese with the Aegis on Mag and FNG, but again, it seems fine the way they've got it. The 2 carries are too palm. That's not really a problem to have when you're only 37 minutes in. OD 6 slotted once he finishes his Shivers Guard. Ursa has his MKB back at base, so I guess he's got the Mask of Madness and he can still upgrade his Basher to an Abyssal Blade, but he's filling all 6 of his slots, so everyone on the Vega side just filthy rich.
And you say once he's finished his Shivers, he's got it. It's on the courier, it's on his way out. Another item into the hands of Iceberg. He's getting close to being pretty much done. I mean, 23,000 net worth, as we're seeing in this fight, how much you can dish out. Indeed, as you mentioned earlier, MKB was next on the items for Mag. Sorry, not for FM. And talking about Mag, he's also not doing too bad either. 2.7k gold, a lot of ways he can go. I mean, for what the role he's required to play, he's pretty much got the tools he needs with the Blink, the Force, and the Shadow Blade. Anything else is just a bit of a sweep to add on top.
Yeah, it's just Sioma who's not quite as farmed as some of his teammates, but that's where he's got the mind. He's like, I want to be one of the cool kids. I want to be farmed, and he's sitting back there in 7k net worth, but very respectable for a Disruptor still. And for Vega with Aegis and Cheese, got to imagine they'll be at least attempting to fight or high ground during this little window of theirs, or trying to make some kind of play, put Alliance under pressure rather than just sit back. You're not going to get any more farmed on some of these heroes. Like OD's reached his peak outside of consuming a Moon Shard. Upgrade to a boot to travel, but that's not going to upgrade your ability to team fight by any means, so I definitely see Vega trying to go aggressive during this. So one time you might argue they could want to something like a BKB on someone like Slaughter, but realistically that's not a limiting factor in their ability to take a fight against Alliance.
Oh, Vega close outside the doors of Alliance's base, 3 towards the mid, 2 towards the top. Now we'll see how they're going about this. Another thing to add to make the pushes a little harder is obviously the Axe now complete on Limp. But as we've been mentioning, Vega with more tools than necessarily to be able to withstand that. So not something that they're too worried about. And if anything, maybe just hoping that Alliance come out themselves. Maybe so that Vega can try for a quick pick before committing fully for a full high ground advance.
He's going to slowly chip away at these lanes, keep them pushed out a bit, but not fully commit. They are going to now smoke up, so it looks like they want to go for that jump through the mid lane.
Sherman just seeing if anyone on Alliance comes forward to defend this range react. They're just going to let Cardi do the job.
Will the Tinker overstep?
The siege creep bait at the moment from Vega.
Sioma shows himself on the Disruptor, so that should be a giveaway.
Nah, they just all reveal themselves. Vega by the looks of it. They keep Iceberg hidden still on the sidelines. Alliance, they're not fighting for this event. Iceberg just goes in, shoves himself forward. The BKB, the sanity's dropped. That's 1, that's 2 potentially. Loader. He just managed to match off the final right click from Iceberg. Gets himself back to base, but he's popped the BKB. And just like that, Vega sort of crouching, target hidden drag with the patience, and then bam, just like that, jumping in onto Alliance. It's only a support kill, but that's just for the time being, because they're looking to move in for more. Handscam to take down in a few. The laser will stop Iceberg getting the final touch in, but they're moving in. The crush is down. Lotus coming on the back lines though with the Eclipse, and in fact, they may just find out, do they do? Lotus does get a double kill. So maybe Vega again going a little bit too ham, and Alliance, can they get Mag as well? I don't think they've got the vision, they haven't. Mag will get out. But they lose the... That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
Okay.
and it going into Lotus hands mostly as well.
Yeah, that is... I mean, can Vega really throw this game? That would be tough.
Tough but doable. They couldn't quite kill the Luna there. The Mant on the last right click, and I imagine they're expecting the Ursa to be close enough to follow it up. You really need FN jumping on the Hex Luna to get the damage out as well, but just wasn't quite in range for it, perhaps.
I mean, Vega at the moment, they had a 30k gold lead.
And these towers swings around. Just kind of money bags waiting to be grabs. Like Alliance, if they can win a fight like that and then get a tower or two off of it, suddenly you're looking at more than like that 5k gold swing. It's going to be like 7, 8k gold, and Loda will slowly acquire items, and bit worrying perhaps for Vega.
I mean, it really is coming down to what we mentioned at Vega. They do have the ability to kill heroes, but when it comes to killing towers and structures, it really isn't quite there at the moment. And, I mean, it would still take a fair few kind of specific items to add that if anyone's going to build an AC or such or anything like that. But with the heroes that they've got, it's unlikely.
Yep.
And Alliance playing very well with this position they've been put into with their backs kind of pushed against the wall. Something that we know Alliance are very good to dealing with these kind of situations. And to hold on, pushes like that, I mean, it does feel a fair bit of it is down to Vega just going incredibly aggressive, diving the tier 4s and such, heading towards the fountain for kills. That does allow Alliance to turn around the fights. But Alliance holding on, and now with a smoke, maybe seeing if they can get themselves a kill outside of the base. Eclipse is back and available in 5 seconds. I mean, if Alliance find a successful fight here, it's going to be pretty incredible. Jonas Fan jumps forward. He tries to look at the initiator, but immediately Hex. They're going to lose the Batrider. Lose the beam coming down onto FNG. He's pretty tanky, not quite tanky enough. The Astral are holding back for the time being, but Loda coming in with the Eclipse. Bursts down one with a laser from Limp. They've found FNG, but they have lost 2. Max tries to come in with the Crush. Doesn't catch it, but the Glimpse will. Brings Loda back in the Shadow Keys from Iceberg. Absolutely wrecks Loda in 1 hit. And Alliance, where may have looked like they had a bit of a sign of doing something spectacular, immediately shut back down. Vega, they may lose fights when they're diving tier 4s, but when you meet them head to head on their side of the map, Vega will be very quick to bring you down with the power that they've accumulated over this game.
Yeah, they didn't have the tools to kill off VOD really, and IO sitting behind him meant that IO just became a more appetizing target, but they kept it through. IO has Hype and Greaves at this point, so you've got to focus him first, but killing the IO quickly is not something you can easily do. And
FN, Ursa, the infamous Rax Destroyer. He's got it. He's got it, though. There we have it. We'll get the melee Rax this time. The question is, can they punish him? EGM drops some cars, him jumping in. I mean, FN should be fine. He has Enrage available, and indeed Alliance will be able to pursue.
No Fury swipes on buildings, unfortunately.
Just wait until the next patch goes.
Yeah.
Impact. Now that would be absolutely
6.89 is going to be crazy.
Fury swipes now on towers. Please, never. Never. But Alliance, they'll still continue to try their best to hold on to this game, but indeed 2 melee racks down. Range racks as well in the mid lane. It's not getting any easier. They've got to hope for some more kind of CIS throwing to go on from Vega. They need them to dive and be punished. But Vega, you know, they kind of made the mistake in the early game with the aggression up top, then they settled it down. Then there was that position up top again when they jumped in past the racks where they got punished. I'm sure we'll see Vega kind of calm it down again and keep to the cleaner gameplay that they've managed to maintain pretty perfectly for the majority of this game.
Yeah, they can grab themselves another Roshan soon if they want. Put it, I mean, on the IO, we've seen FNG kind of be a very impactful player in these fights, because if he's tethered to one of their carries, you've got to kill the IO first, because that overcharge just blocks too much damage and enables the Ursa or the OD to also dish out a huge amount of damage. So we'll see. Probably again FNG grabbing Aegis, and for now Vega's just kind of fishing for a pick, trying to see what's going on inside of Alliance, but it's Alliance coming to them, trying to catch him by surprise with a smoke.
Indeed, again trying to fight outside the base. We'll see if they get the jump and they want. Loda leading the charge from Jonas and Fan. They found FNG, dragging him off the side, quick Lucid Beam, and in fact dropping the Eclipse as well. They want to try and take the eye out of the fight, and they have. That's going to be FNG down. Loda to move forward for more with the BKB. Unless you catch anything, in fact, it's going to be FN catching them. Jumps onto Hansken, the crush onto Loda, and again, the Sanity's Eclipse is just doing too much at this stage of the game. Dispersing of Alliance's cores in one touch. Limp to fall as well. He's got a buyback. He'll use it immediately. Jonas and Fan, the only one left alive aside Lim. Vega only lost FNG. They're ready to move in, and we'll see what Lim and Jonas and Fan can achieve on this defense. They've got the buyback from Hansken as well. So with 3 members back up, what can they do? They have the rocket spam, they've got the laser spam, doing their best to slow down this push from Vega, and for the most part of it, it does indeed seem to be working. This Tinker still proving to be quite an issue at this stage. In fact, Jonas and Fan coming in, he's actually going to be able to get himself the kill on some of the Slayers. Hexed up though, and Iceberg's damage rips him to bits. Jonas and Fan does have a buyback. Hansken though, he does not. He's already used it. That's going to be a dieback on the Ogre. You see they're trying to chase there. One more rocket would have done it to bring down Iceberg. Incredibly low, but Iceberg just able to get himself out of the cast radius. But Alliance, they do hold. The racks down bottom are still there, but it's costing them an awful lot. Iceberg now with a refresher. 2 Sanity's Eclipse, and you're pretty much killing the whole entire lineup of Alliance twice.
Yeah, that's gonna get ugly. Gonna get very, very ugly with the refresher on OD.
I think EGM just died. Oh, okay, no, Iceberg and FNG were there. Actually, in fact, a good lasso onto FNG. They're managing to kick this one off. They're probably gonna make FNG pay for this.
He's back at the fountain.
Oh, just Dota things. Do you want to kind of relocate and then be defensively astral, and then he still pulls it off?
I think if you relocate ends, it goes back. Even if you're your astral, it's not going to stop you
from
relocating back.
It's like, Glimpse and X-Mark and such. It doesn't actually hold you in the astral. It will still, will still take you back. So, I mean, they committed what the BKB and the Eclipse as well to try for that one. Oh no, sorry, not the Eclipse. It was just the BKB. Eclipse is going to be back up in 10 seconds for Loader. But again, Vega into the pit. It was a little bit of a longer Roshan spawn timer. Vega are more than happy to wait and now take it.
Yeah. That's the way I thought they'd do it the first time. Aegis on Mag and Cheese on the IO. But not the biggest deal in the world. Mag does have a BKB now as well, so he doesn't need that deal quite as much.
Oh boy, oh boy. Alliance really being tested here in this game too. Vega, for the most part of it, having a very, very smooth game ahead of Alliance. A couple of hiccups, but Iceberg still in an absolutely monstrous position as they will move on to the final set of racks here. Alliance, what can they do? They've got the full 5-man backup. The rocket spam starting to come out from Limp, forcing FNG back. Hype though, doing wonders against this sort of spam. And Vega, clear out the wave. They've got to wait for their creep wave on the spawn line to come round, but when it does, not as many reasons for Vega to hold back from fully assaulting the base of Alliance.
Yeah, it's taking turns using those 2 pipes, both IO and Disruptor having one, and it's going to be very difficult. One rack standing. It seems Alliance will play it out to the bitter end. They're still in this with a small shot. It feels like they need something crazy like a Lunar Rapier to truly win this one, but Lowe doesn't have the money. He's just picked up a Crystallis for now for a bit of extra damage, but leaving your base if you're in Alliance's position is going to be relying on killing things.
Loader taken down just like that. Iceberg positive refreshing, but a good lasso from Jonas and Fan dragging the OD into the base. He has to be keeping the Hurricane Pug to shove himself out. Loader looking to change up, and there's the second Sanity Eclipse. Just a dieback from Loader. Oh, I think it may be over for Alliance as they're held in the base. Vega ready to bounce in farm. Loader's going to say, please, please stop. GG, well played is called. Vega will take the second game. And indeed, it feels like a bit of a repeat of the Alliance versus Na'Vi that we saw yesterday. 2 fairly one-sided matchups.
Yeah, this one took a long time to finish.